Chapter 1. The Blue Flower. Bruce Wayne was in prison in Bhutan, a country far away from his home in Gotham City in America. One day, he was waiting for breakfast with all the other prisoners. They stood in lines. After a long time, Bruce got his plate of horrible food. He took the plate and walked to a table. A very big man stood in front of him. "Give me your food," said the man. "No," Bruce said. The man hit Bruce in the face. Bruce dropped his plate and fell to the floor. When he got up, there were 7 big men in front of him. 2 of them took Bruce by the arms. He used his legs hard, and they fell. Then, crack. At the sound of the gun, all the prisoners quickly got down on the floor. A prison officer took Bruce's arm. "You're coming with me," he said. "Why?" asked Bruce. "So I'm safe?" "No," said the officer. "So they're safe." The officer pushed Bruce into a room and closed the door with a bang. It was very dark in the room, but Bruce saw that he was not alone. There was a man in the corner. He didn't look like a prisoner. He wore good clothes. "My name is Ducard," he said. "I work for Ra's al Ghul. Do you know him?" "Is he a criminal?" Bruce asked. "He is not a criminal," said Ducard. "He is a great man with very clever ideas. He knows that you're in trouble, Mr. Wayne. He wants to help you." Ducard walked to the door and shouted. The officer came and opened it. Ducard turned to Bruce. "There is a very special flower," he said. "It grows on the mountain near here. It's blue. Find it and take it to the top of the mountain. There you will find the answer to your question." "And what is my question?" asked Bruce. "Where am I going?" said Ducard, and he left. Why is Ducard interested in me? How does he know about me? Bruce asked himself. He sat on the hard bed and began to think about his life. He remembered that terrible day in Gotham many years ago. He is a little boy. He is playing with his friend Rachel. They are running in the garden at his home, Wayne Manor. There is an old well in the garden. Bruce climbs onto the well and laughs. "Look at me, Rachel. Suddenly he isn't laughing. He's shouting, 'Help! Help! I'm falling!' And he falls down and down and down into the dark well. He hits the floor with a bang. 'Ah, my leg!' he cries. It feels terrible. Then he hears some strange sounds. He isn't alone in the well. Help! What is it? He looks up and sees a cloud of terrible black things. Bats. They are flying towards him and into him. Their teeth are like knives. He thinks he is going to die. He makes himself into a ball and shouts, 'Help! Help!' Then everything goes black. The next thing he remembers, he is in bed. The only person in the bedroom with him is Alfred. Alfred has always worked for the Wayne family. 'You had a very bad fall, Master Bruce,' says Alfred, 'but you're going to be okay.' Alfred waits for a moment. Then he asks, 'Why do we fall, Master Bruce?' Bruce knows the answer, but he can't remember it. 'I can't remember,' says Bruce. 'Tell me.' 'We fall,' says Alfred with a smile, 'so that we can learn to get up again.' Bruce started to climb the mountain. He found the blue flower easily. He climbed higher. Up and up he went. It got colder and colder. Soon he was walking on ice. It started to snow heavily. Bruce was cold and unhappy, and very tired. 'I have to get to the top,' he thought, 'but I don't know if I can.' Then at last, he saw a big building. He pushed open the heavy door and went in. Ra's al Ghul was sitting in a big chair. Ducard was next to him. and there was a line of ninjas with swords in their hands, ready to fight. Bruce was frightened. He quickly showed them the blue flower in his hand. Ducard took the flower. "Are you ready to start?" he asked. "Ready?" "Oh no," Bruce said. "I'm so tired." Ducard threw him to the floor. "You must always be ready," he said. "Here we will teach you to be ready." One day, Ducard said to Bruce, "You're not frightened of me, are you, Bruce?" "What are you frightened of?" "Bats," answered Bruce, and he told Ducard about the bats in the well. "My father told me something important about the bats in the well." He said, "The bats flew at you because they were frightened of you. All things are frightened of something, even scary things like bats." I didn't know that. My father was very clever. I loved him very much. But soon after that, he died. A criminal killed both my parents. His name was Joe Chill. It's the evening. They are at a play. Suddenly there are bats in the show. They fly around above the singers and dancers. Bruce is frightened, so they leave early. But in the street outside, there is a man with a gun. He wants money. He takes their money, but he wants more. And then, bang! He fires his gun. Bruce's mother shouts. Bruce's father falls to the floor. Bang! He fires again. Bruce's mother falls to the floor. This is the worst moment of Bruce's life, and it is all his fault. "It wasn't your fault, Bruce," said Ducard. "You were very young." He was giving Bruce a lesson on a river. It was thick ice. They were fighting with swords. "You must always look very carefully at the things around you, Bruce," said Ducard. Suddenly he hit the ice with his sword. Crack! The ice broke and Bruce crashed into the black water below. Bruce had lessons with Ducard for many months. He learned to fight with his hands and his feet. He learned to fight with a sword and climb tall buildings quickly and quietly. He learned many things, but most of all, he learned to use his ears and eyes, and he learned how to think quickly. "It's time to test you," said Ducard one day. "Today you must fight all the ninjas." So Bruce fought all the ninjas with his sword. It was a very long fight, but in the end, he won. "You fight very well now," said Ducard. "I think you are ready." Chapter 2. Bats Everywhere. Bruce couldn't sleep that night. He remembered his life after Joe Chill killed his parents. He was so unhappy and so angry. He went from school to school and university to university. He never stayed long in one place. Bruce is 20. He is going back to Gotham by train. Alfred meets him at the station. On the way to Wayne Manor, he sees that everything is different. Everywhere is dirty. Many houses are empty. Many shops are closed. People are sleeping on the streets. "Things are very bad in Gotham now, Master Bruce," Alfred tells him. "But Wayne Manor is still your home. Your father was a great man, and one day you will be a great man too." It is the afternoon on the same day. Bruce is sitting on his bed. Joe Chill will be free today, he thinks. He killed my parents 12 years ago, and today I'm going to kill him. He takes a gun out of his bag. His old friend Rachel comes to the house. She is an assistant district attorney, an important lawyer in Gotham now. Wow, he thinks when he sees her. She is so beautiful. They drive to the prison. Why are they freeing Joe Chill today? He asks. When he was in prison, he was in a room with Carmine Falcone, the famous criminal, Rachel explains. They talked and he learned lots of things about Falcone. He's going to give that information to the police. They arrive outside the prison. The newspaper people are waiting. Joe Chill comes out. There are police all around him. Bruce gets out of Rachel's car and walks towards Chill. He has his hand in his pocket, on his gun. But suddenly, a blonde woman pushes through the people. She runs up to Chill. She has a gun in her hand. Falcone says, "Hi, Joe," she shouts. Bang, bang! She kills Joe Chill. Joe Chill was dead, but Bruce didn't feel better. It wasn't the answer. Ducard took Bruce's blue flower. He pulled the dry flower into little pieces and made a small fire with it. "Smell your flower now," he said to Bruce. Bruce put his nose near the smoke. The smell was terrible. He suddenly started to remember the worst days of his life. He was falling down the well. He was seeing his parents' blood in the street. You are frightened of these things. Look at them. Fight them. Now, said Ducard. He pointed to a large wooden box. Bruce opened it. Whoosh! Hundreds of bats flew out of the box. Bruce wanted to shout and run, but he didn't. No, he thought, I must be strong. He stood there quietly. He didn't move. He didn't say a word. Well done, said Ra's al Ghul. You are not frightened now. You are ready to join my ninjas. He gave Bruce a light. Take this light and give your life to me. Bruce took the light. Where must I go with your men? He asked. To Gotham, answered Ra's al Ghul. Gotham must die. You must kill all the people there. No, shouted Bruce. This could not be real. We have taught you many things, said Ra's al Ghul. Now you must do this for us. I won't do it, shouted Bruce. He threw the light on the wooden floor. It broke. A fire started and moved quickly around the room. It grew and grew. It reached the boxes of explosives in the cupboards. They started to explode. Bang! Bang! Ninjas ran everywhere. The roof started to fall. It fell on Ra's al Ghul and killed him. As Bruce ran to the door, he saw Ducard's body on the floor. He wasn't dead. Bruce pulled Ducard out of the building and into the snow. He pulled him down the icy mountain. Ducard was very heavy. Once he almost fell over the edge of the mountain, but Bruce saved him. After some time, they came to some houses. Bruce left Ducard with an old man there. You saved his life. I will tell him, said the old man. Where are you going? I'm going home, said Bruce. Bruce walked down the rest of the mountain. He phoned Alfred. I need you, Alfred, he said. Please come and get me. Alfred flew to Bhutan in the Wayne family plane and took Bruce back to Gotham. He told Bruce all about the terrible changes in Gotham. Carmine Falcone was the crime boss in the city now. Everyone was frightened of him, and William Earl sat in Bruce's father's chair at Wayne Enterprises, the Wayne family business in Wayne Tower. Bruce Wayne is dead, Earl told everyone. I'm the boss now. Bruce listened carefully to Alfred. I'm going to save Gotham, Alfred, he said. When they arrived home at Wayne Manor, Bruce saw a small black thing high on the wall. What's that, Alfred? He asked. It's a bat, sir, answered Alfred. There are lots of bats around here. Bruce suddenly ran out of the house. He ran to the well in the garden and climbed down and down. He reached the floor. It was very dark, but he could feel a cold wind. He found a hole in the wall and climbed through. He could hear water. It was quite near. He followed the black walls until they opened into a big cave. A river ran through the cave, and everywhere there were bats, hundreds and hundreds of bats. Bruce smiled. The next morning, Bruce put on a new suit and went to Wayne Tower. The woman at the front desk at Wayne Enterprises tried to stop him. "You can't go in there," she said. "They're having a business meeting." But Bruce opened the door and went in. There were a lot of men sitting around a long table, and at the end of the table was William Earl. "Good morning, Mr. Earl. Good morning, everyone," said Bruce. Earl's face went white, but he quickly tried to smile. "My boy, how nice to see you," he said. "You're back. What a surprise. A nice surprise." "I've come back to work here," said Bruce. "I want to learn the family business." Bruce started work in the Applied Sciences office. This was the New Ideas office. But Wayne Enterprises didn't seem to be very interested in new ideas these days. The only other person in the office was Lucius Fox. Lucius was a friend of Bruce's father before he died. Bruce looked around the big room. It was full of strange and exciting things. "What's this?" he asked, and pointed to a black suit. "It's a bodysuit," said Lucius. "It can stop a knife. It can even stop a gun." "Can I have it?" asked Bruce. "Of course," said Lucius. "All these things are yours anyway." Bruce took the bodysuit home and down to the cave. Soon, he thought, I will be ready. Chapter 3. A Man of the Night. The night his parents died, Bruce waited a long time at the police station. One of the police officers there was very kind to him. His name was Sergeant James Gordon. Bruce knew that he was a good police officer. He wanted to talk to Gordon now, but he didn't go as Bruce. He put on his black bodysuit and a mask. When Batman appeared in Gordon's office, the sergeant was surprised and frightened. "Who are you?" he asked. "What do you want?" "Don't be frightened, Sergeant Gordon," said Batman. "I need your help. I know Carmine Falcone is the biggest criminal in Gotham. Why is everyone frightened of him? Why does no one stop him?" "Because," said Gordon, "he pays all the important people in Gotham." Bruce went to the river for the first time in many years. There were lots of people there. They didn't have homes. They slept in the streets every night. Some people were standing around a fire. Bruce stood with them and warmed his hands. He looked across the street and pointed to a door. "Is that Carmine Falcone's club?" he asked. "Yeah," someone said. The next day at work, Lucius Fox said, "Come with me, Mr. Wayne. I want to show you something." Bruce followed him into a big room. There, in the center of the room, was a fantastic car. A few moments later, they were in the car and Bruce was driving it faster and faster along the road. "Go slower, Mr. Wayne," shouted Lucius. "No way," shouted Bruce. "This is fantastic. This isn't an ordinary car. It's more like a plane. Can I have it?" "Of course," shouted Lucius. "All these things are yours anyway." Later, Bruce drove the car back to Wayne Manor. "I'll call it the Batmobile," he told Alfred. Bruce was a man of the night now. He was Batman. He stood on top of a building near Falcone's club. He watched the street by the river. He saw a police officer talking to a group of ship workers. The officer took out a small white bag and gave it to the workers. Drugs. So some of the Gotham police were bad too. Falcone was paying everyone. Falcone sat in his office with Dr. Crane, the boss of Arkham Asylum for the mentally ill. "Our boss is arriving very soon," said Crane. "When I tell him about the money, his money, he won't be happy." "Don't tell him," said Falcone. "I won't take any more. This is the last time." He gave Crane a small bag. "Do you want to test the drugs now?" he asked. Suddenly there was a loud bang and the sound of guns. Crane quickly escaped through the door. Batman flew into the room. "What are you?" asked Falcone. "I'm Batman. Everything changes tonight." Batman crossed the city to Rachel's house. He climbed through her bedroom window. "Rachel, wake up," he said. "I want to tell you something. Everything changes tonight." "And who are you?" "A friend. I want to do good, like you. I want to fight the bad people of Gotham." Sergeant Gordon arrived at the river. A lot of newspaper people were there. They were taking photos. Next to a ship there was a large box full of small bags of drugs. Falcone's men were lying behind the box. "Fantastic," said Gordon. "Where's Falcone? He always escapes trouble. Not this time." "Look." "He's over there," someone said. Gordon looked. There was a big light next to the river. A man was lying across the light. He wasn't moving. It was Falcone. Rachel read the newspaper the next day and saw the photo of Falcone on the front page. She smiled. At the police station, Sergeant Gordon's boss was very angry. "Who did this to Falcone?" he shouted. "Find him fast. The police look stupid because of him." "I think he's trying to help us, sir," Gordon said. "We don't need his help," shouted his boss. "Well, I think we probably do," thought Gordon. But he didn't say anything. Dr. Crane was visiting Falcone at the police station. "Tell the police I'm mentally ill," Falcone said to him, "or I'll tell them about you and the drugs." Crane was angry. "What do you know about me and the drugs?" he asked. "I know that you test them on people in your hospital," said Falcone. "I know the boss is planning something big." "Would you like to see my mask?" said Dr. Crane suddenly. "I use it in my tests. People are very frightened of it. They don't like it at all." He opened his bag and took out a horrible mask. He put it on. "How do I look?" Whoosh! Suddenly white smoke came out of his bag. Falcone tried to shout, but his nose and his mouth were on fire. Water came out of his eyes. He saw horrible things in front of his eyes. Crane quickly put the mask back in his bag and shut it. He called a police officer. "I think Mr. Falcone is certainly mentally ill," he said to the officer. "We'll move Mr. Falcone to Arkham Asylum. We can take care of him there." Earl was angry. Bruce Wayne was back in Gotham. Earl wanted to sell Wayne Enterprises for a lot of money, but now he couldn't. And now he had another problem. His number 2 at Wayne Enterprises, Rogers, was telling him about it. "One of our biggest ships has disappeared," said Rogers. "There's a big, expensive machine on that ship," said Earl. "A very dangerous machine that can change water into steam." Chapter 4. The White Smoke. "No one must know that I am Batman," thought Bruce. "Everyone must think that I am just rich and lazy." So one evening, Bruce went to have dinner at Gotham's most expensive hotel restaurant. He took 2 beautiful women with him, one on each arm. After dinner, the women wanted to swim in the hotel swimming pool. "It's closed," said the waiter. "Then I will buy this hotel and open the swimming pool," said Bruce. He jumped into the pool with the 2 women. Later, when Bruce was leaving the hotel with the 2 women, he suddenly saw Rachel. She wore a fantastic dress and looked beautiful. She was just going into the restaurant. "You haven't changed much, have you, Bruce?" she said. "It's all fun and no work for you, isn't it?" "Hey, Rachel. This isn't the real me. The things you do are important, Bruce. Not the things you say." And she walked away. Batman went to see Sergeant Gordon. "There was someone in Falcone's office with him that night," he said. "He was testing the drugs. Do you know who it was?" "No, I don't," answered Gordon. "Dr. Crane from Arkham Asylum often visits Falcone. Perhaps it was him." "Yes, perhaps it was," said Batman. "I think I'll go to Arkham Asylum." "It's not safe," said Gordon. "It's in the Narrows, a very dangerous part of Gotham." "Not for me," said Batman. Batman soon arrived at the Narrows. Behind Arkham Asylum was a dark building. Batman went inside and found a very big ship's box. It was difficult to open. At last he was able to push open the top. Inside there was a machine. It was the size of a big car. Batman read the words on the box. "Wayne Enterprises 47B1, me." Two people came into the building. One was a ship worker. The other was a man in a dark suit. They didn't see Batman. "What are the boss's orders?" asked the man in the dark suit. "We keep the machine here until he's ready," said the ship worker. "Fine," said the man in the dark suit. It was Dr. Crane. Batman suddenly flew from the box to the floor. "No, it isn't fine," he said. He hit the ship worker in the face and he fell to the floor.